Hey guys, I don't do posts like this often, but I wanted to do one today on corporate accountability. This is a very interesting thing for me that's been happening recently in the internet with the growth of the very large mega corporations. And basically, what's happening is that you get very large corporations which hold an enormous percentage of the power and have the ability to affect a lot of people. And because they have this sort of all-encompassing power, they can cause impact without any accountability. There are a few examples of this. One of the most obvious ones perhaps is email providers. So you end up with email providers that are quite successful, like Google with Gmail. You have Yahoo, you have Hotmail, and these guys aren't really accountable to anybody, particularly for their free service. They're not even going to lose customers or money from it. At best, they'll lose a bit of reputation, but only if it affects enough people to create a real groundswell of rebellion. And so far, I haven't seen that happen. And yet you see all the time situations where these companies will make decisions with no involvement from their customers, not even tell anybody, and then this decision will impact a lot of people. So a good example is the way a company chooses to handle spam. I've seen several cases where one giant mail company will completely smack down another giant mail company by simply refusing to receive any mail from them. I believe this happened once. I may have the companies wrong, but I believe at one point Gmail blocked everything from Yahoo for quite some period of time. If you were a Yahoo user and you sent an email message, it may have been Hotmail, I can't remember, and you sent a message to a Gmail user, it would just disappear. You wouldn't get an error message saying it was undeliverable, you wouldn't get any cause, you would have no idea that they had not received it. And of course, the receiver is completely unaware of this as well. So the problem for the users is that both the sender and the receiver are affected by the fact that this message did not go through. And no one is the wiser until they make contact and find out that, hey, you're not getting my messages. Why aren't you getting my invoices? And this is some of this is a problem with the fundamentals of the technology, is that the two endpoints, the two users, don't have a way to tell that that message wasn't delivered. It's just sent and may or may not get to its destination. All right? And there are better ways to do that. But given the way things are, the real point is that these companies can make decisions which have an enormous impact. And if you get upset about it, there's absolutely nothing you can do. There's no one that you can even contact to complain. And I've seen this happen as well with in New Zealand. I have a client who used Extra, which was Telecom's email service. Telecom is the largest telephone company probably in half the world, I would guess. And Telecom made a decision to change how they were handling spam, I guess. So my client sent out their regular email newsletter, which they completely rely on to support their gym membership. And they've been doing it for years through their Extra email account. And lo and behold, those messages just didn't get delivered. Now this was an enormous problem for them and created a huge panic. For this particular client of mine, all of their new memberships come at New Year's. So for their Christmas newsletter to not go out was catastrophic for their business. Now the problem was not only that Extra made this change without bothering to alert their customers, and it was also the fact that that there was no error message. We sent out the email messages and there was nothing that came back from Extra saying, we just wanted to let you know we didn't deliver these. We have new rules now. Please have a look at this webpage and you'll be up to date on what's going on. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And of course, there was no expectation for these end users to reply back straight away. So there was no indication that, oh, maybe this isn't working. Come to, the situation where they're now panicked and calling me and saying, Mike, we don't know what's going on. Our email's not working. What can we do? And I'm having to track down, who do I talk to? Who at Extra is responsible for email? How do I find out where the emails are going and how to fix it? And I'm pointed to some vague forum post somewhere that's not even by Extra personnel, which says something about there are now new regulations in place. Not even anything specific. There was no information to speak of. All I could tell was we're not going to be able to get Tony's emails through Extra service to his customers with any level of reliability, and we had to start over from scratch and find a new provider and a new email address, all on an emergency setup as quickly as we can basis. It was a nightmare for him. Fortunately, I was able to solve it, but the fact that his entire business was on the line due to some large corporate policy without anyone even being alerted, the lack of respect, the lack of accountability, the lack of responsibility by these large corporations was stunning. You can see this as well with Amazon. If you look at FBA, Amazon FBA, I think it's fulfilled by Amazon. It's the idea that you, as someone selling a product, can send your products to an Amazon warehouse, and people can order it through Amazon, and it will be shipped by Amazon to those people, including through Amazon Prime, their special shipping program. That's a pretty cool program. But Amazon will shut you down at a moment's hesitation if you violate any policy they have. So for example, you're not allowed to promote your own business's website anywhere. So if you have a coffee mug that you're selling to people that's available on your website, and you sell it through FBA, through Fulfilled by Amazon, and that URL is on the coffee cup because it's your business's brand. If Amazon discovers that, when they open the product, they can shut down your business completely. No hesitation, no appeals process, nothing. You are just closed for business. That means it's like someone just shutting down your store. Your income from that is instantly gone. But it's worse than that. It's worse than that because the product that you have in the warehouse still, you have two choices by contract. You can either pay Amazon to destroy it, or you can pay Amazon to ship it back to you. Either way, you're out more money with no choice. And this impacts you in huge ways. Another great example is YouTube. YouTube can shut down your YouTube channel at a moment's hesitation, and there's no way to really appeal that. There's no way to get that reversed. There's no way to get anyone to question that. There's no way to even complain about it. You're just, poof, someone turned off your radio station, your broadcast. Okay? Now, people who use YouTube as a main source of income, run a channel, and depend on that advertising revenue, to wake up one morning and not be able to log in is terrible. It's catastrophic for their business. And yet these companies have no accountability to anyone. I don't have a solution to offer for this. So I'm violating the age-old principle, don't create a dragon that you can't slay. But I would really love to see some accountability, some responsibility by these large companies for their customers, for the people out there that depend on them. I don't know what the right way to do that is. Maybe someone should start a movement where, there's a coalition of businesses that believe in responsibility and accountability and that must follow certain practices, and they get to use the logo. And then that coalition is run by a consumer organization or a coalition of consumers and big businesses, perhaps. That's a little scary. Big business always has the muscle. And that then consumers could choose, you know what, I'm going to choose this email provider because I know that they are committed to providing the best possible experience for their customers. They are committed to responding to major complaints. There's a forum for resolving and disputing actions that the company has made, which can be monitored by an independent organization rather than just going into support at whatever, and then who knows, did anybody get it? Did anybody read it? I don't know. Is there an AI at the other end? Who knows? This is the increasing reality we're facing in, and somehow getting people into that process, and particularly getting independent people into that process who have the interests of the consumers who are using the internet, seems wise.